Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with a very special video. I am here to help celebrate the 5th birthday of Club La La Land Crafts, which I think is wonderful. So, of course, today is August 15th, so let's get ready to celebrate. First, let's look at what comes in with your kit when you subscribe. Now, the kit that I have here, they have many levels. They have 3. So this is the top level. You get one exclusive Marcy Cling Mount rubber stamp. You also get one exclusive coordinating cling mount rubber stamp. And you'll also get a set of exclusive coordinating steel dies. So again, these are only available in the kits. They're not available individually. So these are all all of the items that you get in this level of the subscription. So of course, Marcy's just adorable with a beautiful present. This is what they look like when they are stamped out. So you have birthday wishes. We celebrate you. Happy birthday from all of us. Look at all these little characters. They're so cute. So let's get jumping right in. I will explain more. This is a long video. I'm showing you a lot of details. The only thing I'm not going to show is the coloring of the images themselves, but there's a lot to these cards. Really came out of my comfort zone, but had a lot of fun making them. So I do hope you enjoy them. So again, stay tuned. There will be more details when there's a lot of background coloring, so to speak. So I grabbed a piece of cardstock. And what I did was I laid down some double-sided tape, not foam tape, just regular tape. And then I've cut these strips, and you can see they're in rainbow order. Now these are about 1/4 inch thick. I used my paper trimmer, and now I'm just going to put them down in rainbow order. One of the dies that I absolutely fell in love with was the font of birthday, and it is a nice size die. It's not small at all. It's almost 5 inches wide. So it's going to be perfect as a sentiment for any of your cards that you make. So as I laid down my strips, of course, they're sticking down onto the double-sided tape that I have. And I'm just going to trim the edge using my long shears, just to make sure I get a nice cut on them. I'm then going to cut this strip down as well because there's more double-sided tape on the top and the bottom. So I don't want this to stick to my cutting plates when I run this through my die cutting machine. I am going to use my anti-static powder tool just to take some of that stickiness away because it will stick. Yes, I'm doing a voiceover, I know. Yes. So I'm going to take the die and I just want that to go across. So this is a simple way, if you don't have any coloring mediums, that you can still get a rainbow effect for your sentiment die. Just use your cardstock, and scraps are perfect for this. The other thing that I enjoyed when it came to this sentiment, the letters are not connected. The only letters that are the T and the H. But you could have a lot of fun with that. So you could make the I, which is in the shape of a candle, in a candle color scheme where you could just do that white. All of your other letters would be in colors. Your day could be in a different color. So you've got a lot of choices with that die. So I think very creative. So here I'm just playing with the placement of my letters. Now you can do what I'm doing here and just place them, and surprisingly when I'm seeing this, they're actually in a straight line, those colors. I knew that was not going to stay that way when I would go to glue them. So use the template that you cut from. That will help you to place them down. And I was on a roll because I just trimmed that with my scissors, just eyeballing it, and I was almost dead on. I was impressing myself with this. You can see the background that I've created. I am going to be creating a 5x7 card for this one because I wanted to make sure everything fit. So my background, you can see, are some clouds. And again, that's just a stencil that I made myself. And I've just used my Distress Oxides to create the cloud effect. I want this to look like it's up in the air. So by using this template, I'm able to put my letters back down, and I know it will be the exact way I have that panel set down with my strips of cardstock that I chose. So it is just an easier way if you don't feel comfortable just eyeballing it, or if you're like me saying, hey, laid those out right, they wouldn't stay that way when I would go to glue them down. So I'm just going to continue to use that to place my letters down, and then I'll carefully lift that up, and I'll use my tweezers to just hold the letters down so that they don't pop up, because my fingers wouldn't fit in there. So I'm just very carefully lifting this and then just slowly pulling it away, and then eventually once I get to the end, it's very simple. I am making it look more difficult than what it is, because I do that. Also, one of your dies is this cute little present, and it says happy. Again, more choices with this. So you can have the happy be the cardstock that's in the back. I know I actually pulled out a ruler on this one. The happy could actually be just the cutout, so the color of the cardstock underneath is going to shine through, but you can also save those letters and use to spell happy. So again, you've got a lot of choices, but I love the look of the present. The balloon die, I cut 3 out because I always work in odd numbers there, and we're going to make a shaker card. So what I'm going for is that the balloons are actually connected to the happy present, so it's actually floating in the air. So I've grabbed my acetate, I've cut that down. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to go around the balloons so that I can adhere that. And I know I'll have a nice strong bond. I do like to keep the tissue paper on so that I don't get fingerprints on the acetate. Yes. I'm going to use my thin double-sided foam strips by Desiree. Oh, Desiree. No. So, Desiree, yes, I was correct on that. What's great with these is they're the perfect height already. When you take the front and the back release paper off, they bend so easily around a curve. And I'm just going to go through. I want 3 separate compartments. And of course, you didn't need to see me put all of the double-sided foam tape on there. So I chose a red mix that I had from my stash, and a blue, and a yellow. And you can see there's other colors. The reds have some pinks and some iridescent in there. The blues have some light blues, some darker blues, some mid blues. So there's different shades. A little bit of green is actually in that as well, and a few little purples. And then the yellows got already some oranges, some see-through yellows. So I've got these different shades going on. So again, to pull in that rainbow effect going through the balloons. Instead of just pouring the sequins in, because they'll go all over the place and get stuck to the double-sided foam that's already exposed, I am just using a spoon just to make sure that they're in there, and then using my tweezers for those that are sticking onto the sides of the double-sided foam. I do want to make sure that these are nice and full, and I'm going to very gingerly, very carefully, pull off the release paper from those that still have the release paper. So you can see me, I'm testing this out. It can skip, it's happened before. So you just want to do this very carefully. Remember, my video is sped up. I'm going to place my white background. I just cut this to the same size, and if I have to, I can always trim from the back or trim around the back in case that's showing. I also used the bow ties that went with the balloon, and I did choose a red, an orange, and a blue shade for the base of my balloons. I'm going to come in with my black pen and just draw in the lines for the balloons, connecting it to the package that says happy. And then I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive and glue those to the base the bases of my balloons, and I'm okay if they're going to cross over the package. I do like dimension, and I love textures on my cards. There are times where I do like to do mixed media on my cards. I think it gives a great effect. So layers and dimensions are awesome when it comes to card making. At least I think so. So I'm just using my tweezers because they are wonderfully delicate and fine in their size. I'm now going to take this panel using my liquid adhesive and put it onto my 5x7 card base. This is a side folding card base, and you can see I just have a little bit of the aqua colored cardstock that I chose on the top and the bottom. So I do apologize because, yeah, forgot to hit the record button. We all do that. Yes. So I'm using my alcohol markers just for the background. I will not be using my alcohol markers to color any of my images themselves. My medium of choice for coloring images are colored pencils. So if you've seen some of my previous videos, I do enjoy the colored pencil, the way that it looks and what you can do with them. But I did want to use my alcohol markers for the background, so I just chose a couple blues. I have a darker blue outlining around my images, and then I used a couple greens to make it look like they're standing or sitting in the grass. I will show one of my critters here that I am coloring with my colored pencils, and I did speed this up. Again, this video is lengthy, so I do have this kind of rocking and rolling here, but I do work with my colored pencils kind of the same as others do with their alcohol markers. I do go with my darker colors first on the outside, kind of set where my highlights and where my shadows are going to be. Now I am horrible in the fact that I really don't look at a light source. I just kind of go with it. And I know I'm getting better with that. But I figured, you know what? The picture's being taken, so the light's coming right at them. But that's kind of how I work. So you can see I use the darker just to put shadows in. I'm going, and you can tell I'm only using one colored pencil. You can use one colored pencil and get many shades from that. So I think that is why I also do like colored pencils. Lots of control. My husband would agree with that. Yes. You can just have that better control. I forgot to say, for my images, I did use my Faber-Castell polychromos. So you saw that image. That's how all the colors came together. I grabbed a piece of craft cardstock and just drew the outline of the picture that I just colored. Because what I'm going to do is now I'm going to pull back in my alcohol markers. You're going to see that I use them for the backgrounds and for the scene settings. Yes, I actually created scenes. This was very new to me, so this was a lot of fun. I wanted to jump in and just try this. So I grabbed a couple browns after I had it outlined, put in some lines going out to the corners, and now I'm just coming in with some different colors, making it look like wood grain. Just kind of scribbling, actually, so that when I place this picture up onto this panel, it's going to look like it's in a frame. So that was kind of the look that I was going for. I wanted to make this look like it's a picture frame. So this picture was actually taken of them. Now, this is a wonderful size stamp. So I had an idea. I wanted to make it look like a picture hanging. So I'm going to be making a 6x6 card base. So to do that, I cut two panels. So I have a 6x6 square, and then I have a 6.5x6 other piece of cardstock that's scored at 6 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that onto that lip, and I'm just going to make sure that's pressed down. And then I will use another 6x6 panel to cover that lip that's coming over so that it's hidden. This way I can just use, you know, a few pieces of cardstock to create my 6x6 panel. So I have this 6x6 block here that's going to go on top of my card base. But again, I wanted it to look like a wall. So what I did was I grabbed my ruler and I grabbed my cool set of Copics, and I'm just drawing lines down with the 5, and of course I smudged. Yes, because of course it would happen. Yes. So I'm just drawing some lines. So I'm kind of making it look like that white wood panel. I know it's not popular now, but my parents' house had it and it was awesome. I liked it. So I just wanted to create that. So with the darkest shade, which was my C5, I then came in with my C3 around that just to blend it out a little bit. Not too much though. And then I'm coming in with my C1 and I'm just drawing lines up and down that. I'm not trying to color that in. I'm okay that the lines are actually showing to give it just a slight wood feel. Let's go with that. So again, I'm just going back and forth on that, and then that's what this is going to sit on. Now I'm okay with that smudge because I'm going to cover it up. Again, we don't throw our panels away. There are ways to cover them up or hide them in some way. Yes. I'm going to puncture a hole at the top, and I grabbed a brad from my stash. It actually looks like a screw. And I grabbed some twine, and then I'm going to push that down and make that tight so that that twine is caught in the brad. And then this is going to actually sit behind the picture frame. So I'm going to have it sit on an angle as well to make it look like it's swinging back and forth. Because I have that brad, I do like to put some protection, and I'm going to use my double-sided tape so that I can place this down onto my 6x6 card base that I made. And that's going to cover the entire front because I really wanted the wall to show, but I wanted that picture to be off on an angle. On the inside, I'm going to stamp From All of Us. Because of course we had to use that sentiment, right? Of course. So on the front, I'm going to grab a piece of craft cardstock again, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment, Happy, Happy Birthday. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. Once I have it cut out, I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm going to fishtail the one end of it. I'm also going to give this a wood grain effect as well, using my alcohol markers. So I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to fishtail both ends of that. And then again, I'll come in with the two different tones of brown. I'll first outline it with the darker and then use the lighter just to blend that out a little bit, just to make it look like it's got some dimension for it. And then I'll add with the lighter shade and the darker, just some lines to go through. I'll use the lighter shade even with those lines to help blend those out as well. Again, nothing specific, just squiggles. That's all they were squiggles. I'm going to use my double-sided foam squares to prop this up onto my panel, and that's going to sit right into the blue area. Now, don't forget, I want you to stay tuned because we're going to have a giveaway, and I'm going to tell you about that and more about the celebration. So let's get this card started, and those details will be coming up soon. So you can see I haven't covered, colored Marcy yet. But I am going to cover her up, and I'm simply going to use Post-its. These are the regular, I think they're 3x3 Post-its. So these were the perfect size. So I wanted to make sure that she was sitting in this rectangle shape. So I'm going to take the Post-its, pull them up, and then I'm going to go, I built my card base the same as I did before. This is a 6x6 card base that I'm going to be using. So I want to center that top post-it because I know that's the width, and now I'm going to place the other one because now they need to stay in place. This is the size that I need opened for Marcy. So then I came up with this brilliant idea, which you know it won't be, right? To say, okay, I want to add some decoration to the top. I want to keep that alone as well. And again, I'm not telling you what I'm creating here. It's, well, you know what it is. It's a door. I figured, we could have a piece that goes on top of the door. I do change my mind, and we will remove that from the piece because it just wasn't looking right to me. And again, we change as we create, right? We come up with these ideas, we think it's a plan, and then we change our minds. Absolutely, and that is wonderful to do. So I grabbed one of my brick stencils and one of my makeup brushes, and now I'm just going to go on either side of these post-it notes. So the post-it notes are actually creating the rectangle for the door. Okay, so I know what size my door is going to be just because of where I've placed those and how I'm stenciling. Now I'm using pumice stone for my brick colors off of the side, and I'm going pretty heavy with it because this is kind of a light color. So I'm trying to line this stencil up again because this side was a little lighter than the other side, and we can't have that uneven. So we're just going to keep on going over that until we feel it's even. And we feel that now. So when it comes to what I've done here, again, these are all supplies that we would have. I'm going to use my ruler and my cutting blade, my craft blade, and I'm literally cutting around where that rectangle spot is. Okay? I'm actually using that as my guide to cut my door. I will say it was difficult to see because I use such a light color for the bricks. But again, no dyes, just things that we already have. A ruler, a craft knife, and then that will be able to create what you're looking for. Now I'm just going to put a scrap piece of cardstock underneath this, and I'm going to cover up the bricks with some more post-its because I'm going to come in with my warm tones of gray, which would be W1, W3, and W5, and I'm going to create the silhouette of a door or the shape of a door just using these colors. So I'm going around the outside. I will use my ruler against the post-its. I didn't want them to absorb the marker. And I'm going to make that just a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to come in with a pencil and draw just some rectangles inside the door. Because a lot of times, when we see our doors, they've got those, embossed or recessed rectangles on the door. So that's what I was going for here. To just draw them, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in, outline them with my darker, come in with my mid-tone, and then come in with my light tone just to blend them out. So I know that you are all waiting to hear about all of the wonderfulness that's going on with the La La Land Crafts birthday celebration. So I will be giving away $25 to some lucky winner. And what it'll be, you have to have an account with La La Land Crafts. So you want to make sure that you go to their website. It'll be linked down below. Of course, all these links will be down below in the video description. And you want to make sure that you create an account because that's how you'll receive your $25 if you are chosen to win. The winner will be picked on August 18th, okay? But remember, you got to have the account. Now, also, you want to make sure that you join their club, their Facebook group, because all day they're going to be doing games and giving more prizes, and some of these prizes are absolutely wonderful. So what are they, you ask? Grand prize, first place, 12 months club subscription. Second place, 6 months club subscription. Third place, 3 months club subscription. So please, make sure you go to the Facebook group, become a member on there. Make sure that you join in this celebration. It is wonderful. So, the rules, and you can hear my paper a-rustling here. So, to enter the giveaway, you will get 1 entry for each thing that you do, and you must make sure that you comment on each of your entries. Now, here I'm just putting like a little sidewalk up to the door because that was supposed to be a step, and I didn't do so good with that. Now I'm very gingerly bending the door back. That is, you'll see Marcy again, but that's how I colored Marcy. So yes, purple hair, silver streak. That's me. Hi. Okay. I thought it was cute. All right. I added a brad for the door. Again, I just pulled one of those screws. Figured it would look cute. So now I'm going to be working on the background of Marcy. So every once in a while I'm using a pencil. I'm drawing this. There's no masking or anything. I'm just drawing around her. Okay, so watch and be amazed. But let's talk about what you need to do to enter into the giveaway. So 1, you can follow La La Land Crafts on Instagram at La La Land Crafts. You can join the Club La La Land Crafts Facebook group. Again, link will be down below. 3, tag a friend in the giveaway post. You want to make sure, you just want to make sure you do all this. How could you not? The prizes are wonderful. And there's other things. Absolutely. So just keep an eye on that. And for the rest of it, you'll have to be surprised. So make sure you join the club. You will have a wonderful time. Some great creations. Wonderful inspiration is going on there. So you can see, back to the card a little bit. You can see that I've got almost like a wrought iron railing going back. So, and I'll be honest, when I was creating this, I'm creating the outside. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I can't, because I was going to make an outside scene where she was standing. So it was like, we opened the door and surprise. Yeah, well, I did the outside for the door of the house. So I had to change my thought, say, okay, she can't be standing in the grass on the inside of a house because that's not what the inside of a house would look like. It's possible, but didn't want to go there. So we got to change it to the inside. So I'm creating a wood panel floor. Again, very simple using my alcohol markers. Again, I'm still working with my alcohol markers and learning how to use them and enjoying it. My love is my colored pencils, and that is how Marcy is colored using the polychromos. So now I'm actually working on wallpaper. So I'm just creating some lines. I'm using the green for that, and I'm just pulling out some leaves, just creating a V as I'm going. And then I'll come in with some pinks and the coral for the center to make it look like it's flowers. Again, this was fun, but again, the first time I've ever done this. So I had a really good time with this. Just simple dots, not creating a flower. It's just a bunch of dots forming together. When it comes to the wallpaper. So you want to make sure all the links will be down below. You want to make sure that you do join, have fun with it. Make sure you look. There are so many that are involved in this celebration. So make sure you see their wonderful creations as well. Okay, so that's all about the giveaway. I know you were all dying about that and needed to know. And I'll be giving more tidbits in a minute. So you can see I've got the wallpaper done, and now I'm looking at the wall itself that's below my railing that's there. I went with one color. I didn't like that color. I just wanted it to be solid. I didn't want to, I'm like, okay, I've done a lot of details on the wallpaper and on the floor. I think I lost my thought process when it came to that wall section. So I'm like, okay, it's just going to be solid blue. I made just the railing on top of that blue wall. I used my cool grays, and now I'm coming in with a thicker black marker just to make those lines more prominent and a little bit wider. I will come in with a black alcohol marker, which will help speed this up just a little bit. And I am looking at this railing as, of course, a black wrought iron railing, which then had me thinking, okay, well, we can see through that. So I needed to make sure that I drew the lines down for the vines and the leaves and added more flowers just to fill that in so that it would look complete. I had a lot of fun creating these. These really took me out of my comfort zone, and I'm really glad that one, I was asked to be part of this. Very honored for them to send me this and to say create. So I was very honored. But I've seen so many of these wonderful creations that people make with Marcy, and I'm like, okay, I got to take the challenge, and I did. So thank you, La La Land. I appreciate that. So for the inside of my door, I keep rambling, I'm sorry. So for the inside of my door, I just cut a panel that was just a little bit smaller than that door hinge that's coming out. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the front. I'm using my warm colors, starting with the dark, which is the W5, coming in with the W3, and then finally the W1, just to blend that out. Because I want to hide the brad, and I want to hide that coloring that I did there. I don't want that shown. That would have driven me crazy. So we needed to cover that up. But I also didn't want to just put a white panel there. Again, wanted it to look like a door. I could have just cut the ends of another brad off so that a door handle was on the inside as well. But I just thought of that now as I'm doing my own voiceover. I am using some double-sided foam so that I can place this on top so that I can have that dimension when the door is open. And plus it'll help when I go to close the door to keep it closed. I have a little bit of the ability to push down on that so that it'll stay latched. I didn't create a latch system that would keep the door shut, and then somebody would have to turn it. And then plus I would have to add a sign that says turn. So you know where I'm going with that. I'm going to place my 6x6 panel on top of my 6x6 card base. And again, we created it the same way as we did before. And that is that one. So I'm also now going to take the sentiment surprise and just stamp it multiple times inside the door so that when you open the card on the inside, it says you are a wonderful reason to celebrate. So those are my projects. I do hope you enjoyed them. And I do hope that you'll take the time to check out the wonderful subscriptions that they do have to offer. And again, you're hearing my papers here. So again, this is the full kit that I was working with. You get the exclusive Marcy, a coordinating cling mount rubber stamp that's exclusive, and then a set of exclusive coordinating dies. You can also go just for the stamp kit where you'll get the Marcy and the coordinating cling mount rubber stamps as well without the dies, or you could go with just the dies only. So of course, if you go for all three, it is a better price deal. And again, the link will be down below. Just remember that this kit is only available by subscription. Okay, so it's not, they don't have one-off purchases or anything like that. You do have to subscribe. But please make sure you click on that link to make sure, one, that you subscribe because you don't want to miss this kit. Make sure you set up your account because you must have an account to be eligible to win because that is how you will receive your $25 for this giveaway. Again, winner will be announced August 18th. I hope everyone enjoyed these products and all of the wonderful creators that are out there that are helping La La Land Crafts celebrate. I hope everyone has a great day. If you have any questions or comments, please list those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As always, products, links down below as well. I want to thank you so much for taking the time today to stop by and watch this extra long video, but I do hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe, be a member here. Remember to hit the bell, because again, you never know what you're going to see. Remember everyone, take care, but know what's most important for me, always, be creative.